Hello everyone, this is Real Estate Ninja. This is a very serious video. I'm going to share with you two stories. And this is starting in the United Kingdom, and it is going to move here in America. And what that is the demonization of landlords and real estate investors. Now, this is a normal part of a massive real estate cycle. Similar news stories came out in 2005, 2006. What happens is once the cost of buying a home gets too out of whack, and I've shared this with charts before. I put it in my real estate course. It's very easy to identify. And truly the people of a country that this is happening in do not understand how or why it's happening. They don't understand who's at blame, which is the government and the central banks for causing these massive swings. The government alongside with media, and I got to choose my words carefully, they demonize the landlords and the real estate investors. In 2005, 2006, there were stories about property flippers that were trying to demonize them because they were causing real estate to get so expensive as they would fix and flip. It was leaving the common person out. And what people need to understand, this is a normal part of the cycle. And that is why we wait and we posture, we position ourselves. Once you see this, and I'm going to share these two stories with you, and it's going to become blaringly obvious how serious this is. It gives you a lot of, let me move this, light's just blinding, sorry. It gives you a lot of confidence in which to be able to navigate this real estate market, this downturn. All right, here we go. Let's start with this story first, and I'll explain a little more as it goes. This is out of The Guardian. This is about the United Kingdom, but it will come to America, I believe, in the beginning of 2024. And when I mean beginning, the beginning half, the first half, okay? Stories like this. The story is entitled, Cashing In, the Mortgage-Free Landlords Who Are Raising the Rent Anyway. By the way, thank you to everybody that's hitting the subscribe button on this channel, because the other channel is not doing well. It's been spanked down a little bit. Here it is. More than 2/3 of mortgage-free landlords raised the cost of new rental agreements in the last year, despite being unaffected by interest rate rises, according to research on alleged cashing in. Now, think about that statement. That's the first statement in this article. It's going to fire people up. How dare the media go after individuals that have been in real estate investing that were smart and paid off their mortgages? Why? First off, they're not going to be part of the problem and the reason why real estate collapses. Real estate collapses because of over leverage, too much speculation in the markets, and then subsequently running away and leaving the property for the bank to figure out when they get foreclosed on. And that's what this next story is about. You got to stick around for that next story. This is blowing my mind because I've told you, and let me make this very clear. I have said ever since this channel and the other channel started, Economic Ninja, was that Europe will collapse first, and we will be very shortly behind. I'm talking between 8 and 12 weeks because of how tied our economies are together, okay? So it's very important that we're constantly watching the UK. If you're from the UK or Europe, please let me know down below what's going on, that you're from there and what's going on. I get a lot of subscribers from the United Kingdom. So think about this. They're demonizing in real estate investors that went and paid cash for property, or not cash, but they went and paid it off, right? They have no debt on it. And they're saying just because they have no debt, you should not be raising the rents. But here, this report is actually talking about them not just raising rents in the middle of your lease, not in the middle of, just out of the blue, it's a month to month. Oh, now you got to pay another $200 a month or 200 pounds or whatever. They're talking about new contracts. How dare they stick up with inflation, with the actual market, with market rents? Now think about this. This is where, when governments completely lose control, and I'm not joking, there are people that work in the media that also work for the government. I know that sounds crazy. And at risk of getting the channel in trouble, look, this is the truth. Type 1 if you get it. If this makes sense. And the reason why I got to say type 1, type 2, honestly, is to try and wake the algorithm up right now, because whenever somebody shares the truth, it seems like the stories get pushed down to the bottom. So I'm constantly trying to show people real life, in real time propaganda that is going to lead to an economic collapse. Mainly, it is going to affect real estate. All right. They did the same type of stories back in America in 2006, 2007. Oh, feels so bad for the people that can't afford a house, that sat on the sidelines too long, didn't see the economic indicators when the Fed was raising rates back in 2003, mind you. They waited. Now we should let that little small group of sheep run around and buy whatever they want. It's because rampant speculation is what leads to rampant collapse. All right. That's what I'm preparing people for. It's the only, honestly, and I'm not joking when I say I gave it 1 year to give people the lowest price possible, that 80% off, the $199. A lot of people used to complain like, oh, look, it's always, yeah, I did it for a year on purpose, because now I'm shooting for, in 2024, the type of investor that puts the money out that goes, I'm getting my education. And so if you want, there's some links down below, but besides that, you need to understand there's nobody teaching these cycles. And just if you watch the channel and stick around, I will show you these cycles over time. I mean, it may take 2,800 videos, but this is a prime example. The media is demonizing, all right? The people so you're not allowing, they want the free market to stop. You see, because as a landlord raises rents, if they raise rents too high, guess what happens? Nobody rents their property. And they go, well, we still like making money, regardless if we own the place outright or if we have a mortgage. If we have a mortgage, it even makes it more stressful, and the landlord lowers rents to be competitive. And they should have bought the property right. But to go after the people that own their properties cash, see, this is where it's going to get harder in 2024. And I'm going to bring you more stories proving to you this is a ramp up. They want the lower class to attack the middle class, thinking that the middle class, the upper middle class especially, are the elites. They're not. You see, governments around the world want to destroy the middle class because the middle class has all the wealth, all the power. They always have. And right now, it's being proven. Census data, bank data, government data, it is showing all around that the middle class their wealth is evaporating rapidly. First off, through inflation. Secondly, through misinformation. Please get this video out as much as you can. Please share it wherever you can, because I'm not joking. This is how it happens. And this is amazing truth. So let's go into the story. And I'm sorry I digress, but people need to get this through. This is you're being led to the slaughter by so many people on the mainstream media and social media that have only been in the real estate market for, I don't know, since 2010 at the earliest. There are so few people that were in real estate well prior to the last crash, the Great Recession. And you need to listen to those people. If it's not me, listen to other people that were there before. And they're all saying the same thing as me. And there's not many of them. There's only about 4 or 5 of them. We're going into a crash, unless they're trying to sell you on their real estate investment trust. That's something you got to be scared of. I'm not joking. That is just vaporware. It's paper. It's a derivative. You'll watch those fall so fast, it's crazy. People ask me all the time when I think of REITs. If you're not in the physical market, then you need to be sitting back on the sidelines and waiting to get into the physical market. Because for all the little few dollars you make on this blow off top in the stock market and other stuff, you're going to be screwed, because you won't be able to get out of your own brain as things start falling. That's how collapse exacerbates itself. It says here, more than 2/3 of mortgage-free landlords raised the cost of the new rental agreements in the last year, despite being unaffected by interest rate rises, according to research on alleged cashing in. See, they're demonizing it. They're putting names to it. This practice has triggered windfalls for hundreds of thousands of investors at a time. Okay, I'm just going to tell you right now, there are not hundreds of thousands of investors in the UK that own their rental properties cash. All right, so let's dive in a little bit deeper. This is at a time when tenants are paying more despite shrinking amounts of space in flats and houses. According to a poll of more than 1,000 landlords commissioned by the housing charity Shelter and shared with The Guardian, 7 out of 10 who own their rental properties outright. 7 out of 10, okay? That's not 7 out of 10 rental property owners. That's 7 out of 10 property owners that own their property outright, cash, right? They own it. Increased rents on new or extended tenancies in the past 12 months as their average profits rose to more than £800 a month. Meanwhile, private tenants have lost up to a quarter of their living space since the turn of the century. Okay, fudge. This is insanity. All right. So what they're about to talk about, and this is, I read these stories the first time with you. All right. What they're about to talk about is that places have gotten smaller. Shrinkflation, right? It's not just the groceries in your store, the food that you pick up on the shelves of the store, the package is shrinking, your house is shrinking. Well, this is an effect of governmental policy. It is so easy to see when a government sets forth a policy. I'll give you an example. We'll use employment. When the US government came out and said, hey, all you people, all you companies, we're now forcing you to pay, this was a long time ago, you have to give people that work full-time for you, which is 40 hours a week, you have to give them benefits. You have to give them medical benefits, and you're forced by law now to give them a retirement. So what did we see? It was super easy to figure out. Within the next year, you're going to see a ton of jobs that were offered at 38 hours. It was super easy to figure out. So now you have people underemployed. Then they go, okay, we're going to change the law. Now, if you have people that are like 38 or 36 hours a week, we're now considering that full-time. The company's like, no problem. Hold my balance sheet and watch this. And we're going to lower it. It's the exact same effect. It's a human behavior symptom that we're dealing with, okay? This is how it's so easy to see crashes. And this is not one of those, hey, look, this is the boy that cried wolf. He said there was going to be a crash a couple years ago. Well, yeah, would you like to know about crash and build up cycles and then have time to prepare for them? Because recessions are every 7 to 10 years. Big crashes are every 50 to 100 years. These are huge cycles, right? So here they're saying, well, since the turn of the century, places have gotten small. I know, because governments keep ramping up money printing, doing eternal wars, and trying to steal the wealth of a nation by a money printing scheme. And they do it just fast enough to where it raises the prices slow enough to where people don't get it. It's the frog in the pot of boiling water. You are the frog. Let me ask you this. Let's just say it right now. Are you a frog or are you a lion? Are you a lion that's sitting on the sidelines ready to attack and is sitting down waiting, watching the prey build up, and then you're looking patiently for that one that moves off to the side and you go, okay, I got that one. That's the slow one. I'm going to take that one out. I got this. See, a lion already knows as he's sitting on the mountain that he could take out that prey. But he knows that more than likely that prey, especially like when we're talking elephants, that elephant's stronger and smarter. But he goes, I'm going to wait till that one elephant isn't thinking right and goes off by himself. And then I'm going to get my buddies. And we're going to get that lion or that sheep, that elephant. See, that's the whole point. Where are you at? So here we go. This is what they're saying. They're demonizing. They're not sitting there and going, hey, you know, the reason why all this crap's going up is because government policy. The government keeps butting into real estate investors' lives and doing monetary policy where they drop rates really low, then they bring them up over, the next few years, and they bring them low again. It's insane. It's so easy to make so much money from this. But you got to be patient. You got to sit on the sideline sometimes. Sometimes you got to take a knee. As long as you don't do it during the national anthem. I'm serious. So here we go. Middle-aged people have been hit the hardest by the squeeze on space, losing the equivalent of a master bedroom and a bathroom between the year 2000 and 2020. For a couple, it means homeowners now enjoy close to twice the amount of space per person that private renters do. The double squeeze on private renters from the rising rents and shrinking space comes as demand far outstrips supply. I proved in I was filming for my real estate course, the new one, yesterday, and I brought in all this data and charts to show they are lying to you. There are so many more houses that are built today in this country than there were at the peak of the housing build out in 2008. There are more houses. There is no supply crunch. What has happened is that more investors every day are piling into the market, and they're taking homes available at one point to own. They're taking them off the market and they're renting them to you. But guess what? This is where I always will teach this. And this is your freebie right here. I mean, there's lots of freebies. Just stick around the channel. Yeah, those landlords, a lot of them right now, have gotten themselves into the biggest speculative scam in history. We're talking about real estate. In the last 4 years, we have seen so many investors pile in, not having a clue that a trap was being set. And so what's going to happen is something way bigger than what happened during the great financial crisis. Okay? This is not a joke. The bank. Okay, now think about this one. I want you to really, really think about this. Great financial crisis happened because a mortgage meltdown, MBS, right? All right. And you didn't see the stock market really start peeling off its gains until the year 2008. And you saw Lehman Brothers and Bear Stearns crash. And then after that, the stock market didn't actually drop and bottom until the, the 2009. All right, this is where we're sitting right now. Commercial mortgage-backed securities are imploding so bad, and the bubble is so much bigger, that banks have already failed. All right, the FDIC has already stepped in, taken banks under receivership. Interest rates have gone higher than where they did at the peak of 2008. The price of homes went higher, but it's because the bond market is melting down for the first time in 300 years. We've never seen, since the 1780s, a market where the bond market has had downs, 3 down years in a row. And it's getting worse. It's completely diverged from what the Federal Reserve is trying to do with rates. All right? Which is actually even worse in my opinion, because what that does is that hides the fact that it's actually the Federal Reserve that's doing this behind the scenes. Because the Federal Reserve is going to go, and they've already said it, we don't have to raise rates anymore. The bond market's just doing it for us. And right now there's a little bit of a reprieve. You've seen oil collapse price, right? I mean, from what, 90 something dollars down to, was it 78, $76? You've seen the bond market go from 5% on the 10-year down to a little below 4.5. You've seen gold come down a little bit. And this is what I want you to understand. At the same time, you're seeing Warren Buffett sell off his stocks. You're seeing banks, multiple banks warn that people are out of debt, or not out of debt. They are far exceeding their debt levels, and they are running out of cash in their banks as of like literally the month of November. It's running out. All that stimulus money. You are seeing the big money warn, Ray Dalio and big billionaires going, hey, better get ready for this. Because everybody's all looking, oh, look at what's going on. The reason why all those things came down, this is what I want you to understand, is because people are freaking out. People are running into bonds for safety. That brought the bond rate down. People are selling off oil, bringing oil down because they're going, oh my gosh, we have a cataclysm coming in the markets. No one's going to have the money to go on vacations. That's what's happening. The big money knows what's going on. The smart money knows what's going on. And the sheep are running right into this. While YouTubers are out there making, guess what? We got the melt up of 2024. Hey, check out my Moo account. Yeah, cool. Start a Moo account and watch what happens one of these days when you figure out that dark pool's going on. But hey, you notice I don't have, never had FTX, never had Robinhood, never had Moo. Why? Because I know that those things, when things go bad, they're like, oh, we halted trading on these stocks. Can't buy them today. Oh, wait, can't sell these stocks today. Don't care. Sorry, you're losing money. Oh, well, it's because what you don't understand that's going on behind the scene is how they're clearing those trades, and they can't because they're fake. Wonder why the Economic Ninja channel is getting attacked so bad. It's because this is the truth. But this is the truth that most people don't want to hear. They are straight up demonizing landlords right now. They demonize landlords. Also, remember, in America, while everything was closed up, got to be careful what we say. This is what should be getting real estate investors that are sitting on the sidelines, real estate agents that are facing losing their job right now. I know so many of them that have learned from me, and because of my cycles. And how many real estate agents follow this channel that have been real estate agents before the last crash, and all of them are saying the same thing? Just go through the comments. They'll go, yeah, I've been in real estate for 40 years, 30 years. This guy's being honest. And it's not because I'm some brainiac. All that separates me from most of the investors in the world is that I was doing it beforehand. And I saw the signs back then. I saw the signs before the .com bust, and I sold my stocks. I saw the signs before the real estate bust. I sold my houses. This is an epic crash that we are already under. that actually started in September of 2019. Please get that. That's why everything shut down the next year and they started printing money. Look, let's keep going. And I know this is a long video and it's long-winded, so maybe if some of you guys put timestamps and the ninja starts talking about the story again, you can, but people need to get this through their minds. This is not a joke. And again, thank you to everybody that hits the subscribe button because this channel is blowing up. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody that's taking advantage of the 80% off, the links. I want to get this information in as many people's hands, but the truth is, only poor people go, give it to me for free. Well, you know what's funny? I have the best students in the world. As a matter of fact, the ones that are buying the next course that know exactly what they got out of the first one, I hear from them all the time. It's going to be so awesome. But we're trying our hardest to get as many people as we can. Again, that's not a commercial to buy the course. That's not even a commercial to stick around this channel. If all you do right now is protect your credit score and get out of debt as much as you can, you're not going to need a lot of money to take advantage of this. That's one of the number one fallacies, the wrong thinking of this. Well, I'm going to need money to make money. No, you don't get it. There's going to be nobody in the bank trying to get a mortgage. Why? Because all of them missed a credit card payment. They missed a student loan payment. They're screwed up with the medical bills. They didn't get ready for this. You're going to walk into the bank and the bank's like, here's our foreclosure list. What do you want? Some of you working for the armed services that have the ability to walk into VA loans, get ready for what I'm going to teach you there because you don't even have any fees. You're going to be able to pick up VA repos for nothing. It's going to be epic. And we are going to take the wealth from the speculators and we're going to put it into the meek's hands. Learn about what it is to be meek. Because in the Bible, it says the meek shall inherit the earth. And I'm telling you, once you realize what being meek is, it's not being poor. It's not being humble. Well, it's being humble, but in a different way. Learn about it. All right, so check this out. The double squeeze on private renters from rising rents and shrinking spaces comes as demand far outstrips supply. The Guardian has launched a series shining a light on the sector. Oh yeah, good news, Guardian. Why don't you do this? Why don't you highlight the fact that government officials are now working for private enterprises, massive companies like Blackstone, BlackRock, Grayscale, those kind of stuff, these companies, these massive companies, Vanguard and all these companies, and what they're doing is they're buying up real estate using people's pension money that's regulated by the government. There's your crime. That's what's going on. All right, so landlords insisted they were not profiteering. No, they're not profiteering. If they're not raising rents with market rates and they can put people in them, go for it. That's why you invest in real estate. But I'm telling you right now, I'm sitting on the sidelines and waiting because all this is going to implode. The people that own their real estate, they're going to be fine. If rents start to drop, which usually they don't, and there's another cycle people need to realize, I got to film that today. I'm going to film that more in discussion, okay, so this is the cycle. Rents actually, they go up, they top, and then they start dropping in comparison to the house prices. And then it becomes more beneficial for people to dive into the house market, regardless of the interest rate, mortgage rate. I know it sounds crazy, but it's a thing. And then what happens is, then rents stabilize for a bit, and as real estate's collapsing down, and these people are losing their houses, rents rise, stay stable, or rise a bit, and then they get really strong. And the reason why is because all the people losing their houses have to dive into rentals, and the rental market gets tight again. It's an absolutely amazing cycle, but people don't get it. And it happens all throughout the world when these things happen. Well, actually, this is what's scary. You know, the great financial crisis, the recession, the housing crisis really took aim, sorry, it's getting bright in here, in 2008, right? In America. This one's going to be America, Europe, Canada. This is amazing. Canada, I did a story about that the other day. It's fallen like a rock, their real estate prices. I know it's still out of whack, but just so you know, anybody that bought a house today, those prices are the same as the beginning of 2022. So 2 years of price rise, appreciation is gone. So anyone that bought a house in end of 2022, 2023, they're screwed. They're just, it's insane. All right. So check out this story. And this is another one that's super important to go over. And that is here. This is, again, the collapse in Europe right now, in the UK, is coming into America. We are following them. Nervous, this is out of the Guardian as well. Nervous about navigating 2024, we can help. But Oh, get out. That was an no fault evictions in England are soaring out of control, say campaigners. Ministry of Justice figures show that use of Section 21 notices has jumped 38% in a year as proposed ban stalls. Private renters facing a shocking surge in no-fault evictions since July, with more landlords taking possession claims to court than at any time in the past 7 years. The use of so-called Section 21 eviction notices, which landlords can deliver to tenants without doing anything wrong, so there could still be current, right? This jumped 38% on the previous year. The figures have come after the government again stalled a long promise to move to ban the practice, claiming that courts are not ready to handle the new system. The homelessness charity Crisis said on Thursday it feared the delay would now take years. So here the government's needing to move in and try and tell landlords, you have no property rights. We're going to tell you, you can't just sell your property. What they're doing is a lot of landlords are figuring out, oh crap, this is getting bad. It's getting bad fast. And we see as the government's trying to take our rights away as landowners, that we can't, like, you know, put who we want in. There's going to be the government forcing landlords to put certain people in, right? No, we're making this Section 8. We're making this government ran housing. We'll give you a little bit of money, but you're forced. That's actually happening a lot with migrants. Just think about this. All around the world, this is happening. Well, no, it's not happening all the world. It's happening in Western countries, Canada, America, Europe. See, this is a plan to collapse our markets, right? Type 5 if you agree with that. People need to understand this is actually really happening. So what they're doing is they're trying to force landlords to, you can have this person and not this type of person. You can't choose. We're going to choose for you. Shoot, but we'll give you some money while they destroy your house, right? And then try and collect it for repairs. So that's a whole nother story. So let's go ahead and let's dive in and think about this for a second. Landlords are going, oh crap, they're going straight up communists on us. So we need to sell these places and we got to get them out now. Well, there's a lot of people with rent fixes and things like that where they say, oh, the government's like, oh yeah, you can't raise rent either over a certain amount. These people are like, crap, we got to get them out of here so we can fix up the place and sell it for a good price. Because if these tenants are still in there thrashing my place, I can't sell it for a good price. I need them out. So they're doing these evictions. They're up 38% this year. I'm telling you right now, you're going to see governments in Canada, America, and in Europe in 2024 do the craziest it's going to be straight up I always screw up the word totalitarianism. I can't even pronounce the word. It's a totalitarian government. This is not a joke. And so that's going to lead to a greater crash. And then what happens? This is crazy. It all disappears. You see, the government stops doing those things. When the markets crash, the government sit back and go, like Nancy Pelosi on a stock trade, I'm going to buy. I caused that. I'm going to buy it now. And then a couple years later, watch what happens to it. This is not a joke. If you want to take advantage of the course, 80% off links are down below. It's $199. Cheapest it's ever going to be. As a matter of fact, by the 1st of January, it's going to go up over 5 times. That's not a joke. It's never going to this price because I am going to focus on the next level. And I'll have been able to say, I tried for a year. This is not a joke. It's time to start to see these identify. And most people understand that when you can simply figure out how to save money, you've actually made money. Because if you're saving money while everyone else is losing money, it doesn't matter that you don't have a ton of money in your pocket to go take advantage of the crash. All you need to be is patient in your head, a calm persona, peace in your spirit, and then a good credit score, and get ready and a plan. And you're gonna kill it. I hope you got something out of this. I thank you so much. The Real Estate Ninja is out. Oh, real quick. Somebody just asked me about the emails. I will go check my emails today. Tons of people, because they opted out of emails correspondence, didn't get the special link because the new course, I'm offering it for half of what it's going to go for starting Thanksgiving that weekend. And I'm pasting in and sending it to you guys. Just opt in and Teachable, okay? So I'm so grateful, and it proved what the people that I went and talked to, my consultants, about the course, that I need to raise the price. The fact was how many students ran right over and bought the new one. I'm so grateful because you did something for me too, and you showed me that it was worth it. and I thank you. You're not going to be disappointed with this next course. I thank you so much. I can't wait to crush it with you. The Real Estate Ninja is out.